Ladies and gentlemen, it is going to take a lot longer than the election for John Durham and William Barr to finally get to the bottom of everything. We know just from public record, we know that President Trump was framed with a dossier that was purchased by Clinton. Even if the notion, let's just say that Comey was above board, everyone was above board, they all did things based on their view of national security, it still wouldn't make any sense that the administration, President Obama's administration, utilized a dossier. The FBI, under President Obama's administration, utilized a dossier purchased by Clinton. That doesn't make any, even if the best case scenario existed, it still doesn't make any sense that they utilized a bunch of gossip obtained, paid for by the DNC and Clinton. But we know it wasn't, we have text messages from Peter Strzok that said, "We'll stop Trump." What media does and what Democrats do is they focus, almost like in a lab, they focus on one incident and then say, "Well, you can't." The whole thing is what now they're using, when they use the word pattern of behavior, they use it to shield themselves from immense hypocrisy. So with Biden and his recent allegations, well, Biden doesn't have a pattern of behavior. And then, of course, they undermine that, and they say, except unwarranted sniffing and all that stuff. The pattern is, well, you had FBI agents texting themselves, Klein-Smith texting each other, Klein-Smith, Strzok, Lisa Page, others, saying, "Oh my God, we could have done more to stop Trump. Oh my God, we need Trump to lose. Trump should lose 1,000,000-0 to Clinton. We'll stop Trump." Then they say, "Well, that's their political beliefs. Everyone's entitled to their political beliefs." Well, then you had Andrew McCabe's wife, who received hundreds of thousands of dollars from Terry McAuliffe and Democratic PACs in Virginia. Well, as it didn't affect his personal viewpoints or his work viewpoints. I mean, everyone is allowed to have their spouse. Okay, then you had the IG report talking about a symbiotic relationship between media and FBI agents, and they leaked information. Oh, well, that's an isolated incident. We can go on forever and ever, but now we have John Durham expands investigation. That's the Washington Examiner, but also, a couple hours back, former top FBI lawyer worried Hillary Clinton would be indicted after election. Now, this will not stop Clinton from becoming nominee. I will have made the biggest political call of all time. But ladies and gentlemen, really quickly, we're almost at 3,000 subs on Bizarro World Goodman. I got the disguises, the costumes, the wardrobe, beard, wigs, mustache. I got all different types of sunglasses, all different types of wigs, all different types of hats. I got the tank tops going on. I have the Vote Democrat shirts. I got the Clinton Gore hats with the... it's just going to be fantastic. I will be the embodiment of the person in your life, a family member, a friend, a coworker, somebody that says, "Well, I can't be your friend anymore. I can't talk to you anymore. How dare you vote for President Trump? How could you vote for President Trump? How could you vote for somebody who worked with Russia and helps the Tiki Torch people?" I'll be that person in your life. It's going to be a catharsis. It's like H.A. Goodman's alter ego. It's like the Goodman Tony Clifton. Okay? So you have to subscribe. I'm waiting for all the wardrobes and costumes and everything to come in. You're going to love it. Subscribe to Bizarro World Goodman. It will be a catharsis to watch, trust me. And you'll be able to show your friends, like, "Oh, this is what you sound like." Yeah. So I mean, I'll do it. Oh my God. I have a whole shtick prepared about the Trump wants you to shove, you know what, and the whole Lysol thing. But anyway, You'll love it. Subscribe to Bizarro World Goodman. The link is below in the pinned comment and description. But here, James Comey's top lawyer was torn over what to do when FBI Director James Comey asked in 2016 whether he should inform Congress that the Bureau was reopening the investigation into Clinton's emails. General Counsel James Baker had told agents that they discovered agents discovered 600,000 to 1 million emails on disgraced former Anthony Weiner. It's always disgraced. So, I mean, you can go Weiner, Schneiderman, Justin Fairfax, Bill Clinton, Joe Biden. Who else? I mean, how many people in Hollywood? How many Democratic males have to be caught with their, well, not just with their pants down. How many Democratic males have to be have to be shown as predators before the left realizes that it's an issue that must be addressed by America, not an issue they could utilize to prevent Supreme Court justices, but then catapult their own nominee for the time being. Biden's done. But anyway, the 2016 Democratic nominee top aide, Abedin, was married to Weiner, who was being investigated for sending illicit text messages. Baker, who left in May, told author David Rode that he felt like the facts had thrown him a 100-mile-an-hour fastball. Baker believed it was likely that the FBI could find new evidence on wrongdoing by Clinton. Rode wrote in his recently released book, In Deep, the FBI, the CIA, and the Truth About America's Deep State. Okay, so she wins the election. We go to DOJ, and we recommend that they indict her before she becomes president. Baker said, describing his nightmarish scenario, that's not a good place for the country. That's not a good place for us. Okay. Baker also worried that the Bureau's credibility could be damaged if Comey did not inform Congress. So this is also very likely a public relations spin by James Baker. James Baker is already the James Comey's top legal counsel at the Bureau. He wanted to indict. He stated that Clinton should have been indicted. Now, when people on the left say, hey, Jay Goodman said that Clinton would be indicted, that's the reason they get steamrolled all the time by the Democratic Party. Because they only go a certain point, and they don't bring up the glaring, obvious Achilles heel that the candidates they're running against have. So Bernie Sanders never brought up Burisma. Bernie Sanders never brought up Clinton's email servers with top secret intelligence because Bernie Sanders doesn't really care about Medicare for all. He says he does, but he's not willing to go towards a certain area. And then when you say, well, he couldn't go there because then Democrats would really rebel or, be wouldn't be open to Medicare for all because he'd be using Republican talking points. Well, no. The issue is, are you willing to actually engage in the same politics they level at you? Bernie Sanders, they called him a Russian agent. They said that he's Russia's choice. And then he had to go, oh, Russia, if you're listening, I don't want your help. Help being any information that Democrats are corrupt. But Clinton never holds back. She never held back with Bernie Sanders. The Democrats don't hold back against anyone, even their own candidates. They cheated Bernie Sanders. So what more could they have done against Bernie other than, they just cheated him in 2016. And then people think, oh, it's not going to happen this year. It's like, oh, it's happening. Everything I've said has been happening, but he is not willing to actually go after. He's not willing to actually win or to try to win. So the whole shtick, well, I have to ingratiate myself to the Democrats. No, he could have joined the Green Party, which is what he really should have done if he really cared about Medicare for all, and said, look, I'm taking my vote. I'm taking my voters, and I'm not coming back until you actually pass a Medicare for all bill. But he doesn't want to rock the boat. That's a whole other story. The issue here is that John Durham knows that James Baker, the James Comey's top legal counsel, he knows that Comey's top legal counsel wanted to indict Clinton, thought that she should be, and imagined a scenario where she would be. And That's part of the investigation. William Barr and John Durham know everything that you and I know. What they're trying to find is intent, because you need some kind of intent for U.S. Code 793F, and I write about that in the Federalist. If people conspire within the United States government to defraud the American people, which is what Comey and Strzok and McCabe and Clapper, all of them did, and Brennan, then that is a crime, and it's very vague. They actually tried to use that statute against President Trump, because even though there was no collusion statute, U.S. Code 793F, if his campaign, or if he directed some kind of plot to work with Russian intelligence, he would have been guilty under U.S. Code 793F. So it's if you engage in some kind of plot, or you conspire with other government officials, or if you conspire in a grandiose way to defraud the people of the United States, especially using agencies against their stated purpose to, investigate and tank and undermine opposing their political rivals, then that's a problem. Notice with Trump and Comey, Strzok, McCabe, Brennan, Clapper, Clinton, it's never they're going after Trump's a political rival. No, but does anybody ever say Trump is Comey's political rival? No. But they always say, Trump going after, salt of the earth, unbiased, impartial, a government official. They always say that. They never say that Trump is Clinton's direct political rival. They say, Trump asked for dirt. He asked for dirt from another country on Hillary. Oh, why would he do that? Everything they view. I was thinking about this, and this is why Bizarro World Goodman will be so amazing. Reality is not reality to the left, and to media, and to Democrats, and to liberals, and to many progressives. Reality is not and to the far left, way far left. Reality is not reality. Reality is reality is influenced by their sensibilities. Or I should say their sensibilities influence their reality. What they feel is moral, what they feel is right, what they sense to be good or bad, influences their perception. Well, in a way, that's everybody, but influences their perception of reality. And when reality doesn't conform to their absurd notions of right versus wrong, then they create a caricature of, let's say, Trump. The person that they obsess over, that's not Trump. President Trump, the Trump that you know is closer to the reality of President Trump. Okay, President Trump is not a Russian puppet, FSB, Putin, conspired with Putin to hack the DNC at Trump's request, who withheld military assistance from Ukraine because he was so afraid of Biden. He wanted to interfere in the next election. Anyone who told you that is the biggest tool in the entire universe. Trump is not that. Trump doesn't speak subliminally to all the racist, horrible people on the planet. So it's like they can't say that Trump engaged in mass incarceration. They can't say that he pushed mass incarceration. Well, that's the Democrats. They can't say that he called anyone super predators. No, that was Hillary Clinton. But what do they do? And they can't look at Clinton and say, well, 3 a.m. ad, that was actually a subliminal dog whistle to Southern Democrats. What they say is, well, what do we have? Okay, he said both sides. They manipulate, take a quote out of context, completely manipulate the intent, inject intent and motivation, manipulate everything to conform to their ideas that he couldn't have won, were it not for tons and tons of bigots that just came out of the woodwork. And then they say, well, he was trying to speak to the people with torches and saying they were good people. He was referring to conservatives who wanted to keep statues up. These people had nothing to do with the horrible, Klan members and racist bigots and all that day. And conservatives protested all throughout President Obama's administration to keep statues up. But Trump never said both sides have good people in the context or in the meaning of complimenting horrible racists. That never happened. But in the minds of Democrats, it did. And it was an example of everything. All the reasons they can't stand Trump. Which is another, again, Bizarro World Goodman will tackle this through satire and comedy. And just a theatrical performance on my part. This reality extends, or perhaps started with the Clintons and Madam Secretary. Anything Clinton does is either, if she gets caught, well, that's just politics, everyone's bad, they all do the same things, or, no, she was just being set up. So, it is never a situation where they look at reality for what it is. Okay? Look, you can critique President Trump. I actually think the U.S. Postal Service should get money and get bailed out and whatever. I think that was very wrong of President Trump. But, you can make critiques. But they don't make a critique of Trump. They create another Trump. And so they've created a world where these FBI officials, you look at the history of the FBI, my God. You have a litany of controversies and overt criminal acts by agents. Overt criminal acts. In some cases where they where they allow criminals to do the most heinous things. And those FBI agents are in prison. But give me your thoughts below. Eventually, reality is going to coincide with Eventually, the Democratic Party's reality will coincide with what actually took place. In this case, once Clinton loses again, because Clinton will be the nominee, she will lose again. I give her a 25% chance of winning. Then you'll have John Durham and William Barr with the political will, because they're not going to do anything during the election. They're not going to. Oh my God! Imagine they indict people, and then the left. Trump went after his political opponents. But see, notice. Trump is going after his political opponents, but President Obama never went after anyone. It's always the double standard. Then they say, well, because he tweeted. It's like, then they publicize. First they say Trump shouldn't be trusted. Then they publicize everything they don't want you to trust. Give me your thoughts below. Subscribe to Bizarro World Goodman right now and H.A. Goodman's other channel, but subscribe to Bizarro World Goodman right now.